Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., was born on January 17, 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky. He was an American professional boxer and activist. Nicknamed the Greatest, he is regarded as one of the most significant sports figures of the 20th century and is often regarded as the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. He had one brother and was named after his father, Cassius Marcellus Clay Sr. He grew up amid racial segregation. He was also strongly affected by the 1955 murder of Emmett Till, which led to young Muhammad Ali and a friend taking out their frustration by vandalizing a local rail yard. He held the Ring magazine heavyweight title from 1964 to 1970. He was the undisputed champion from 1974 to 1978 and the WBA and Ring heavyweight champion from 1978 to 1979. In 1999, he was named Sportsman of the Century by Sports Illustrated and the Sports Personality of the Century by the BBC. Muhammad Ali began training as an amateur boxer at age 12. At 18, he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics and turned professional later that year. He converted to Islam after 1961. He won the World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Sonny Liston in a major upset on February 25, 1964, at age 22. During that year, he denounced his birth name as a slave name and formally changed his name to Muhammad Ali. In 1966, he refused to be drafted into the military, owing to his religious beliefs and ethical opposition to the Vietnam War, and was found guilty of draft evasion and stripped of his boxing titles. He stayed out of prison while appealing the decision to the Supreme Court, where his conviction was overturned in 1971. He did not fight for nearly 4 years and lost a period of peak performance as an athlete. His actions as a conscientious objector to the Vietnam War made him an icon for the larger counterculture of the 1960s generation, and he was a very high-profile figure of racial pride for African Americans during the civil rights movement and throughout his career. As a Muslim, Ali was initially affiliated with Elijah Muhammad's Nation of Islam. He later disavowed the Nation of Islam, adhering to Sunni Islam. He fought in several historic boxing matches, including his highly publicized fights with Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, Fight of the Century, the biggest boxing event up until then, the Thrilla in Manila, and his fight with George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle. Ali thrived in the spotlight at a time when many boxers let their managers do the talking, and he became renowned for his provocative and outlandish persona. He was famous for trash talking, often freestyled with rhyme schemes and spoken word poetry, and has been recognized as a pioneer in hip-hop. He often predicted in which round he would knock out his opponent. As a boxer, Ali was known for his unorthodox movement, fancy footwork, head movement, and rope-a-dope technique, among others. Outside boxing, Ali attained success as a spoken word artist, releasing 2 studio albums, I Am the Greatest, 1963, and The Adventures of Ali and His Gang vs. Mr. Tooth Decay, 1976. Both albums received Grammy Award nominations. He also featured as an actor and writer, releasing 2 autobiographies. Ali retired from boxing in 1981 and focused on religion, philanthropy, and activism. In 1984, he made public his diagnosis of Parkinson's syndrome, which some reports attributed to boxing-related injuries, though he and his specialist physicians disputed this. He remained an active public figure globally, but in his later years made fewer public appearances as his condition worsened, and he was cared for by his family. He stood tall at 6 feet and 3 inches and weighed 107 kilograms. By the time of his passing in 2016, he had amassed a fortune worth approximately $50 million. About personal life, Ali was married 4 times and had 7 daughters and 2 sons. He was introduced to cocktail waitress Sanji Roy by Herbert Muhammad, who was to become Ali's longtime manager, and asked her to marry him after their first date. They married approximately 1 month later on August 14, 1964. They quarreled over Sanji's refusal to join the Nation of Islam. The marriage was childless and they divorced on January 10, 1966. Ali's brother Rahman said that she was Ali's only true love, and the Nation of Islam made Ali divorce her, and Ali never got over it. On August 17, 1967, Ali married Belinda Boyd. Born into a Chicago family that had converted to the Nation of Islam, She later changed her name to Khalila Ali, though she was still called Belinda by old friends and family. They had 4 children, author and rapper Maryam, May, twins Jamila and Rashida, and Muhammad Ali Jr. Rashida married Robert Walsh and has 2 sons, Biagio Ali, who is an amateur MMA fighter, and Nico Ali, who is a professional boxer. About professional career. Muhammad Ali began his professional boxing career on October 29, 1960, with a 6-round decision victory over Tony Hunsaker. From 1960 to 1963, he compiled an impressive record of 19 wins and 0 losses, with 15 victories by knockout. During this period, Ali defeated notable opponents such as Tony Asperti, Jim Robinson, and Henry Cooper, famously predicting and then fulfilling a 5th-round victory over Cooper despite being knocked down in the 4th. Ali's early fights showcased his brash persona, inspired by wrestler Gorgeous George Wagner, which drew both attention and controversy. He parted ways with trainer Archie Moore over menial tasks and hired Angelo Dundee in his place. By late 1963, Ali was the leading contender for Sonny Liston's heavyweight title, despite being an underdog due to Liston's dominant reputation and Ali's perceived struggles against Doug Jones and Cooper. The fight against Liston on February 25, 1964, in Miami Beach, became one of boxing's biggest upsets. Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, used his speed and agility to evade Liston's attacks, ultimately forcing Liston to quit on his stool before the 7th round, claiming a shoulder injury. Ali proclaimed himself as the greatest and became the youngest boxer to take the heavyweight title from a reigning champion at 22. Shortly after the Liston fight, Ali embraced the Nation of Islam and changed his name to Muhammad Ali. He faced Liston in a controversial rematch in 1965, where Liston went down in the 1st round from a punch dubbed the Phantom Punch. Ali defended his title against Floyd Patterson later that year, criticized for appearing to toy with Patterson during the fight. Ali's outspoken opposition to the Vietnam War and refusal to be drafted in 1967 led to significant controversy and legal battles. He declared himself a conscientious objector based on religious beliefs, arguing against fighting in a war he deemed unjust. Refusing induction, Ali was stripped of his title, faced criminal charges, and was barred from boxing for over 3 years. His case went to the Supreme Court, which overturned his conviction in 1971. During his exile from boxing, Ali became a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, delivering speeches at universities and challenging racial injustice. He returned to the ring in 1970, regaining his boxing license and resuming his career with victories over opponents like George Chuvalo, Ernie Terrell, and Cleveland Williams. Ali faced Joe Frazier in 1971 in the iconic Fight of the Century and lost, marking his first professional defeat. Following the loss, Ali rebounded with wins against Corey and Bonavina, setting up a rematch with Frazier in 1974. He famously defeated George Foreman later that year in the Rumble in the Jungle, using the rope-a-dope tactic to reclaim the heavyweight title. Subsequent fights against opponents like Joe Bugner and Ken Norton highlighted his resilience and strategic prowess. Ali's rivalry with Frazier culminated in the brutal Thrilla in Manila in 1975, where Frazier's trainer stopped the fight, declaring Ali the winner. In the late 1970s, Ali faced Leon Spinks, losing and then winning their matches, becoming the first 3-time heavyweight champion. However, challenges against opponents like Larry Holmes in 1980, where he suffered a defeat by TKO, and Trevor Berbick in 1981, marked the end of his career. Ali's contributions to boxing extended beyond the sport, influencing cultural and political landscapes worldwide. His legacy endures as one of the greatest athletes and social activists of the 20th century. About later life. Muhammad Ali's later life was defined by his remarkable resilience and commitment to humanitarian causes, even in the face of Parkinson's syndrome, which he was diagnosed with in 1984, likely stemming from his years of boxing. Despite the challenges posed by his health, Ali remained active and engaged in various endeavors. Throughout his later years, Ali continued to make significant contributions as a humanitarian and philanthropist. He embraced his Islamic faith, dedicating himself to acts of charity and goodwill. He donated millions to various charitable organizations, focusing particularly on alleviating hunger and promoting education. His efforts were estimated to have helped feed over 22 million people worldwide. Ali's global impact extended beyond charity. He traveled extensively, visiting Africa, Palestine, and Bangladesh, among other places, to support causes close to his heart. He spoke out against injustice and supported movements for civil rights and international peace. In 1996, despite his health challenges, Ali lit the Olympic flame at the Summer Olympics in Atlanta, a poignant moment that symbolized his enduring spirit and global influence. His activism and philanthropy earned him recognition, including being named a UN Messenger of Peace in 2002. Ali's later years also saw him face health battles with Parkinson's, yet he continued to inspire through his public appearances and advocacy work. His legacy as a sports icon and humanitarian continued to grow, culminating in numerous honors and awards for his contributions to society. Muhammad Ali passed away on June 3, 2016, leaving behind a legacy that transcends boxing. His life serves as a testament to the power of resilience, compassion, and the enduring impact one person can have on the world. Thank you for watching. Don't miss our fascinating biography of Oscar de la Hoya and other legendary boxers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Stay tuned for more boxing stories.